this, not that. Viral edition. So a few months ago, I did a buy this, not that viral foundation edition, and since then, I've gotten a good number of requests to do more. So that's what I'm doing today, and I didn't realize how much fun I would have picking out the products. I've already picked products for a second version of this, so you guys better like this. But I just want you to get in my head for a moment for how I pick these products, because I cannot stress enough, this is not a dupes video. This is not an affordable alternatives video. This is a video where I'm talking about a viral product and I'm telling you simply what I like better, what I would recommend over that. For example, if we go into Sephora and you walk straight up to this super viral foundation and you're like, I want to pick this up, should I pick it up? If there is a foundation that I like better than that viral one, I would recommend a different one to you. So this is that other item that I would recommend to you more. Instead of spending your money towards the viral thing, here's a product that I think works better and works similarly. Because you'll notice with some of these products, the colors are a little different, the formulas might be a little bit different because they aren't dupes, but I think what makes them different is what makes them a better product. So yeah, you know, basically with these viral products, here's what I like better that's not necessarily viral. In some cases it is, but you'll see, we'll get there. So without further ado, we're gonna do some demos today. So I would recommend you buy this and not this viral Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy drops. So let me start off with the De-Bronzy drops. With these bronzy drops, you have to mix it with a skincare product. So I have used it with the cream that Drunk Elephant has. So what they did was commit marketing genius by creating this product that coincidentally works really well and should be used with one of their expensive moisturizers. And it's an extra step. Sure, you know what? This brings us back to our childhood days of making potions with our mom's bath stuff in the bathroom. But the adult version, really expensive, and we don't have time for that. So, like I said, not a bad product. Not something I'm using very often though, and just a little unnecessary in my routine personally. So this is great though if you do self-tan and you need that little bit more bronziness in your routine. Why do I look so dirty right now? Hold on. Let me work this out. Clearly I cannot do this while talking. Ugh, I have like dirt smudged all over me, it looks like. Anyways, if you self-tan and the actual bronzing component is super important to help you match your foundation, I'd go for the L'Oreal Lumi Drops. It's 2 steps in one, a lot simpler. But if you're here for the hydration, for the glow, and a little bit of the bronziness, I recommend you buy this instead, and it is a more affordable alternative. Again, very different formulas, but this is the Hard Candy Glow Serum Primer. This is one of my favorite primers from the drugstore. It has this kind of golden bronzy glow to it. The finish is completely different, but this is going to give you more glow than the Drunk Elephant. I would say the Drunk Elephant, if you mix it, depending on the moisturizer you mix it with, will give you more hydration, but this is going to give you more glow, and that hydration will also hold underneath your makeup. It has a more oily feel to it, so also keep that in mind. But anyways, I'm just saying, if I want a little bit of a bronze color, you can see this side is more bronze, but this one still gives me a little bit of bronze tint. I want the glow, I want the hydration. I'm reaching for this instead of this, but I can definitely see why people would still choose this, but you know, this is what I'm picking. I still recommend to buy this and not that. And just to be clear, this is not to say that the viral product isn't good. I actually very much enjoy a lot of these viral products. They're just other products that maybe I prefer over and I think performs better. So we have 2 viral products in the next one here, but I still recommend you buy this and not that. The Rem Beauty Foundation has gone quite viral. It has these skincare infused ingredients, I believe, and it's supposed to look like a second skin while giving you some coverage. And I do like this foundation. I think it's a really nice foundation. I've enjoyed my time with it, but you know, when you're somebody who has the career that I do, I try so much makeup that even the products that are really popular and everybody's loving, since I've tried so much, I can just tell when a foundation doesn't really stand out, and this is one of those. I think it's nice, like I said, I've enjoyed it, but it's not a foundation where after it's lost its notoriety on the internet, like after nobody's talking about it anymore, it will probably be forgotten because it's not a long-term standout formula. There's a lot of other foundations that are very similar to it, but it looks good, right? I really do like it, but that same kind of second skin finish, skincare infused, medium coverage foundation that I think is better is the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. I have two because I'm mixing a couple different shades to get it to be the same shade as the Rem. But truthfully, I really just think that this foundation is better, especially if you have dry skin like me. I do feel like the Haus Labs has more of a hydrating factor as well. So maybe if you have more oily skin, you might prefer the Rem Beauty because it does give less of a glow to the skin. Now, a lot of glow is showing through too on this side of my face because that hard candy glow serum, it just gives the glow that I like more. But the Haus Labs as well does give off a little bit more reflection than you're going to see with the Rem Beauty in general. But if you're looking for something that's skin-loving, skin-like, and medium coverage, I personally would point you more towards the Haus Labs. Okay, concealer. I would recommend you buy this and not that. So we're bringing Haus Labs back here on the other end of the spectrum. Now, how I've described the Haus Labs concealer is full coverage but hydrating. So I really enjoyed that aspect of this concealer since I've had it because there's not a lot of concealers on the market that are able to be full coverage without being drying, and this is one of those. So I very much enjoyed this, but I've always had the feeling about this concealer that it wasn't knocking my socks off. Again, it's just one of those products where for me, after having tested all that I've tested, this one, while it does have more unique capabilities with it being hydrating and full coverage, it still wasn't something that made me go, wow, this is amazing. Until I very recently tried the Kofi Main Match Concealer. Now this is the exact same way that I described the Haus Labs. Full coverage, hydrating. But this one does it better, and I think because it actually is also, I feel like, a lot more smoothing than the Haus Labs. So it really gives that perfecting finish that the Haus Labs does not. Because for some reason, I always felt like with the Haus Labs that it wasn't as smoothing as I would like, but I just used a powder and it was fine because I did like the coverage of the Haus Labs. But I feel like the Kofi solved that for me. The Kofi, though, does have a little bit more of a glow if you're able to tell, but I've always just felt like Kofi gave me more long-term hydration and it just looked better on the skin. So for me, buy this, not that. This one is a real popular one, but I recommend you buy this and not that. Now Shar here, she has a cult following. I purchased a new one recently, so today's actually my first time using this specific one. I put that so crooked. What the heck was I thinking? But anyways, this one pretty much I would say has gone so viral and is so loved because it looks scary and then you feel like it blends out really easily just because it's a sheer product. So I feel like it's got us a little bamboozled. That being said though, I really love this. I recommend it. I think it's awesome, but I think we think it's better than it is because it looks like it's not going to blend out. But in reality, it's just a sheer product. This has nothing to do with the video today, but I'm trying out this Patrick Ta nose contour brush. My nose just looks dirty though, but that's on me. We'll fix it. I'll fix it off camera with some concealer. But yeah, I mean, it's beautiful, but for some reason, I'm always more inclined to grab for this Tarte one. Now, it's a different formula than the Charlotte Tilbury because it doesn't have that almost watery base that makes it blend out easier, aka sheer. But I mean, this one still has the easiest blend, and it's a little bit more of a bronzy tone if we're comparing it to the Charlotte Tilbury. But all I can say is, to answer why I chose this, is I've just reached for it more, I recommended it more, and I feel like you can always tell how you feel about a product based on what you're grabbing for without thinking about it, or what you're grabbing for to run out of the door without thinking too hard. When it comes between these two, I'm grabbing this and not this. But yeah, the formulas are a little bit different, but they're also, you know, quite similar. So hopefully I laid out the differences for you. If you definitely want it more cool, then definitely go for the Charlotte Tilbury. But I also feel like, I don't know, since the Tarte has a little bit more pigment, I think I almost like that about it. I don't know, I'm just using it more, so I'm sharing that with you. But Charlotte definitely looks a lot better on the nose. But if you want to go against the grain, I really like the Tarte. I'm going to fix my nose off camera, but before we do that, I do have one more liquid product to share with you guys. And I recommend you buy these over this. Now, the Selena stands might come for me, but I've never been a fan of the Rare Beauty Liquid Luminizer. So I'm using the shade Outshine today, and this has just never given me what I wanted it to give. It's not an offensive product by any means, but I always saw all of these girls on TikTok and in YouTube videos using this liquid luminizer, and I always feel like my skin eats this up. I have a couple of different shades, and they all go down to this really sheer highlight, which if you like a super sheer highlight, sure, but I feel like it looks glowier on everybody else. And God forbid I have a full coverage foundation on, because that coverage eats away at this product. But I did not discount the need for a nice, subtle liquid highlight. I prefer the glow that this Laura Mercier liquid highlighter gives. I have the shade Gold Glow here. I don't know, I just feel like this melts into the skin a lot prettier. I feel like the Rare Beauty, I don't want to say breaks up, but the finish is not as smooth or flattering on the skin as this Laura Mercier is. So I don't know if you can tell the difference, but this one looks more like a true glow from within, and this one just looks unflattering right here. The glow is completely different, but they're both glow from within natural glowy highlighters. The Laura Mercier just to me screams much higher quality, more impactful. I much prefer this over the Rare Beauty. The formula all around better. So if you're looking for a good but still natural liquid highlighter, I would go with the Laura Mercier. Now I know you were probably scared when I held these up, like, is she going to pull the Charlotte Tilbury? Charlotte Tilbury is really different from this. The Charlotte Tilbury is much more metallic. This one gives that more true glow from within look. Alright, now for blush. Both of these were viral, but I do recommend you buy this and not that. The viral, infamous Dior blush in Rosy Glow, the pink shade. I really, really love this blush. I like the level of pigmentation, though it is null, kind of, right? But once you get the second layer on, it's a really great way if you have a lighter skin tone to get this baby doll pink look that's not too clownish, because it's almost like a watercolor applying to the cheek. So I actually like the level of pigmentation here. I also find that these blue-based pinks typically aren't that flattering on me, but this shade, I think because it is a sheerer formulation, it is much more flattering. However, this blush right here is $40, and while I'm not doing affordable dupes, the value of this next product is crazy. So this is $38. It is $2 cheaper than the Dior, and you get 3 different colors. This is the One Size Cheek Clapper 3D Blush Trio in the shade Attention Seeker. Now these colors, let me do a swatch by swatch for you. So I'm gonna swatch the Dior on the top right here, and I'm going to swatch the One Size. These are not dupes of one another, but if you have any sort of color to your skin, melanin, the One Size is going to be so much more flattering on you. And while the Dior works for me, the One Size is more flattering on me. Obviously, you get 3 different formulas as well. Just to keep the demo fair, I'm only going to use this. But there is a cream blush and there is a shimmery color that you can put over top or to bridge in between your highlight. So this color overall I think is much more flattering on a lot of more skin tones, and it has more pigment, so I just think that this is the better alternative and it's a much better value. So I'm gonna use a lighter hand here. Let's pat this on the cheek. I don't know, I do really like the Dior, so I'm not saying the Dior is trash, but I am saying you're getting much more for this, and I think the tone of the color is better as well and more flattering for more of you guys. So skip the Dior, get the One Size. Now this next selection is gonna answer the so many times I've gotten asked which I prefer. So it is with a bit of bias that I say to buy this, not that. This one is a tough one though, because I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong with either, but I'm going to describe the differences here. So right now on my eyes, I have the Makeup by Mario and the Natasha Denona. So first let's talk swatches here. The top of my arm is the Makeup by Mario, the bottom of my arm is Natasha Denona. Very, very similar. You can go without the other. Personally, I'm happy having both, but you can go without the other. You do not need to have both. So the major differences here are in terms of formula. Colors are similar. The biggest difference I'm going to mention are the shimmer shades. The Makeup by Mario has this glimmery formula that's more like fairy sparkle, very sheer base, whereas Natasha Denona, what I like about it is it has more pigment underneath the shimmers, so that just, in my opinion, gives more purpose to the look, because those shimmer shades, as beautiful as they are in the Makeup by Mario, they just are kind of close to one another. Now mattes, dare I say I do prefer the mattes in the Makeup by Mario. They're definitely a little bit more powdery, but they're buttery smooth on application. With the Natasha Denona, it's a more buildable formula and it has a little bit more heft to it. There's less fallout. But it kind of just depends what formula you prefer. I kind of like the Makeup by Mario matte more, but with the Natasha Denona, I feel like the shades just have more depth, they have more color, they have more pigment. There's more variation, especially in the shimmers. You do get a few different formulas from metallic to sparkle. So overall, like I said, there is a bit of bias, but I do still prefer the Natasha Denona, but both of these are on equal playing fields. I just have certain preferences and needs met that I feel like the Natasha Denona gives me. So to the many of you guys who asked which one, buy this one, not that one. Okay, so let's move into lips here. Now, this one, I did ask on my Instagram story for you guys to just give me some suggestions for some viral products you wanted to be mentioned in this video, just to help get my juices flowing. And so many people said, you want to know about the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil and Anywhere Caffeine. And I almost didn't put it in this video because I was like, this is what I would recommend. This is the perfect full lip color contour to go with anything over top. But ladies and gentlemen, I had a light bulb light up on top of my head, and I actually recommend that you buy this and not that. Or you could just buy both because they're great. But let me explain. So I'm going to start off with this hand demo. So I love the Makeup Forever because they have this almost powdery formula. It's dry, but you can blend it. Now this color, Anywhere Caffeine, went really viral because look. I love this application. I love everything about this pencil. Let me tell you guys. So with this color, you see how much more full this side of my lip looks, and it looks relatively natural. All things considered, I probably could have gone a little bit thinner here, but it's the perfect shade that you can put any color over top and your lips are going to look fuller and it's going to match that shade. Now, I picked the shade Supernatural from Pat McGrath. Oh, by the way, this is the Pat McGrath Permagel Ultra Lip Pencil. If you've been a long-time viewer of my channel, you know I love this shade. So now this particular shade, it's a little bit deeper and a little bit more brown, but I just want to use this as my example. Contour is probably a little bit closer, but Contour from Pat McGrath, the shade, is somewhere at the bottom of my purse, one of my purses. So if you want a shade closer to Anywhere Caffeine in particular, try Contour from Pat McGrath. Let me show you why I prefer the Pat McGrath. Longevity. That is why I would say Pat McGrath over Makeup Forever. And the Makeup Forever had more time to settle down. So it's gonna last a lot longer. And I know the tones are a little bit different, but similar effect on the lips to where you can put anything over top. Okay, so this one, I have two very viral products, but I don't think I've talked about these yet, but I was using these all Thanksgiving break. But I recommend you buy this and not that. Hear me out. So Summer Fridays made its way to my collection first, and my ultimate decision on these, while I do love these, I cannot, like, it's $24. Probably not worth $24, but it is very hydrating and it does leave a glossy plump to the lips. They have great flavors. So the Rhode Peptide Lip Treatments, these are a little bit cheaper. They're $16, which is what, about $8 cheaper. So it's a good percentage cheaper. The flavors on these, I know she started launching tinted ones. I haven't tried those yet. Salted caramel. Oh my god. I have never had a lip gloss or lip treatment that smelled as good as this. So I also like the applicator better. It's a little bit smaller. And it pretty much does the same thing as a Summer Friday. And call me crazy, but I feel like it's a little juicier as well. Both of these products I feel like are quite similar to one another. Do you think they look different? They don't really, do they? I think Rhode leads more to a shiny gloss as well, and it tastes better. The Summer Fridays has almost like more, I want to say Vaseline, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but it has more of a consistency that's similar to Vaseline, whereas the Rhode is more similar to a gloss. I think both are hydrating. So funny, over the Thanksgiving break, when we were visiting my family up north where it's a lot colder, my husband's lips were so dry and he asked me for a lip balm and all I had was this. So he was walking around the airport with his Rhode lip glaze on the lips. Let me tell you, it is glossy and juicy. So I know some of you actually wanted to see what I would recommend over the Rhode. I'm gonna do some more research for that, but for now I actually recommend, if you're in between these two, to buy the Rhode over the Summer Fridays. They taste better, they smell better, and for me they're a little bit glossier. It was very highly requested that I cover this viral product. Before I reveal it, I recommend you buy this and not that. So a lot of you wanted to know about the e.l.f. lip oils that just launched, and my quick review unrelated to this is that these are a very nice lip oil. I think that these are really great, but I'm gonna finish the sentence with for the price. I still prefer the formula that you would get with Dior, but you know, if you are concerned about the price, which the Dior is something to be concerned about price point wise, while I do like the Dior better, if price is a factor in this, I'd go e.l.f., but it's not as thick, which I don't like as much. I think because it's thinner, it doesn't last quite as long, and I feel like it just doesn't have the same glossy glow that's really plumping on the lips that the Dior does. But like I said, for the price point, I think it's a good product. The product that I would recommend over the e.l.f. lip oils, they aren't a lip oil, but they might as well be. They work and feel very similar, are the CoverGirl Yummy Glosses. So these to me are more lip oils than they are lip gloss. I'm going to put on the color Acai You Later. So these give me what I want the e.l.f. to give me, which is more glow and a little bit of thickness. Oh, they smell delicious too. So that's always a bonus, though not a factor in this. And it's just as hydrating, and I feel like it has a little bit more glow to it, and there's a ton of color and pigment options as well. Like I said, these are very similar to a lip oil to me, and I just prefer them over the e.l.f. So buy the CoverGirl Yummy Glosses, not the e.l.f. lip oils. But like I said, it doesn't mean the viral product isn't good. This is good, but it's not an all-time favorite lip oil of mine. You know what I mean? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this version of Buy This Not That viral edition. Like I said, I've already pulled products for a second video, so let me know if you want to see that. And it really does help me when you guys give me suggestions, so if there are any viral products that you want me to cover or feature in this video, please comment down below. It'll help me pull some more interesting products. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful and fun. Let me know your opinions on my Buy This Not That. Obviously, this is just my opinion, so I expect other people to feel differently, so this is your open invitation. Let me know how you feel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.